But why books? With that out of the way, because number one, they're all over the place. You can walk into literally any thrift store, garage sales at times, even flea markets, and there's so many books out there. And when there's an abundance of a product, like Clifton Cardin just said, books are literally everywhere. There's going to be opportunities. There's going to be profits that fall through the cracks, potential profits that fall through the cracks, and it's up to you to go in there and claim it. So that's number one, abundance. Number two, you can get them cheap, just like clothing, and that's why I like books and I like clothing is you can get them pretty cheap. Now, to get back to my initial point with the preface of the fees going up, the book market to an extent is, both sides of the stick are kind of getting burnt. What's the saying going? Right now there's some changes going on where a lot of thrift stores are raising their prices of books. The fees are going up on books. So kind of like on both sides, it's caving in slowly but surely. And I don't know if selling books is going to be profitable 5 or 10 years down the road. But I know right now it's profitable. It is becoming a little more challenging, but not challenging enough to where you'd say to yourself, I shouldn't do this. Like, do it. Trust me. Books are a great opportunity. But the point I was making was they're dirt cheap, even though around here where I live in Connecticut, the prices have been going up. Have any of you guys heard of the thrift store Savers? It's probably one of my favorite thrift stores. Their books were $1.99. And then recently, it was like that for years. And recently they just raised all the prices to the textbooks up to $3.49 or $3.99, which is like 100% change in price. And even some of them now are like $4.99, $5.99, $6.99. And I remember when I was in California, it was pretty common to see $9.99, $14.99 for textbooks. So in general, prices are dirt cheap, but in some areas of the country, it is getting a little more expensive. So Chicago Crown Hustler says, books are cheap to pick up. With the increasing fees, do you think sellers will start transitioning more towards merchant versus FBA? Right now, no, because there's still too many reasons to do FBA. I mean, the fees are increasing, but you can still get a lot more typically FBA. Plus, you get to leverage the system. You send it all in, and then they deal with customer service. They ship it out for you. There's still a lot of benefits to being an FBA seller. And, I don't see people making that shift quite yet, but possibly in the future. Daily E-commerce Hack says, my Goodwill is still pretty cheap on textbooks. I think $3 a book, not bad if it sells for $50 plus. Exactly. So price, you can typically get them cheap. There's an abundance of them. And number three, and there's a lot more benefits, but number three is they're really easy to sell. Like in terms of like shipping them off to Amazon, or if you're a merchant, I mean, there's not like a lot of prep work. They typically don't get damaged easily, at least. It's not like super challenging to inspect it, right? It's not like you have to, like video games, you've got to plug it in, you got to test it. There's all these different things that could go wrong. Textbooks are pretty straightforward. Now, I do want to say there are certain things that can get you. Like, for example, my mother, she sent me a text the other day saying, hey, I got a negative. Could you help me to remove it? And I always help her with that. And we couldn't get it removed because they left a negative comment saying, they gave her a 1-star saying, this isn't the book I ordered. You sent the book club edition. So what happened was she must not have noticed that it was a book club edition, which is typically like a reprinted or like a lower quality value copy of the book. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but she sent out the book club edition by accident and she got a negative, and we couldn't get it removed, even though we're still trying to correspond with the seller. But there's things that could come up, right? There's challenges just like anything else. But in general, as a rule of thumb, selling books is pretty easy. There's not a ton of things you have to look for. Like Josh says, Goodwill stickers are a pain to take off. You got to take off the stickers, check the CD if there's a CD included. Do a quick skim through of the book. Make sure, if there's highlighting or there's ripped pages or missing pages, you do want to acknowledge that in the description.